Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Yusuf Endurance and I'm a fashion and portrait photographer who loves sharing useful tips from my workflow. Today I want to show you guys two different ways on how I clean my seamless backdrops in Photoshop when editing for my clients. Whether you're dealing with footprints, wrinkles, dust, trust me guys, these techniques I'm about to share with you are going to work just fine for you. For me, I work for a lot of fashion brands. I shoot a lot of lookbooks, so I usually have tons of images to edit. So that's why I devised this first method that I'm going to show you guys, which I call the blurring method. It helps me save a lot of time and I get to deliver as quick as possible. So without wasting most of your time guys, let's get right into it. So first, remove all of this individually first before you do your selection. So I'm just going to click on my spot healing brush tool here, and I'm going to remove some of these patches here. So I'm just basically painting over the blemishes here, just clicking and brushing over it. Click and brush, click and brush. So you can take your time. Remember, you are being paid for the job, so take your time and get it done perfectly so you don't have to do it again. So yeah, so if you ask me, I would say the background is looking good for us to apply our blur on it. So yeah, this looks very okay for me. If you still want to be very thorough like myself, you might want to use the rectangular marquee tool here and then select this part of the backdrop that is not looking nice. I'll select this properly. Okay, so I think this looks good, and I'm going to use the generative fill. You should see this on some of your or most of your recent Photoshop. I'm using the Photoshop 2025, the recent version. So I use generative fill. I allow AI to do the job for me. So I'm just going to click on generative fill and tell it to generate. So I'm just going to wait a little bit. If my network is very fast, this should not take time, but if it takes time, I will have to like paste in the video. So let's see how it does. So yeah, we have some options over here, variations, so you may want to select from it which one looks good. So between this first one and the last one, I think the last one we did a very good job, so I'm good with this. So yeah, see how far we've come. I'm just going to select these two layers here by clicking on command or control, and then I'll click on the other layer. I'm going to group them by clicking on command or control G, so that I'll see what I've done before and after, before, after. So yeah, our background is looking good and ready for us to apply the blur. So to apply the blur, I'm going to click on Shift Command Option E. That's for Mac. If you're using a PC, it's going to be Shift Alternate Control E to create a merge visible layer so we can work non-destructively. And now I'm going to select my subjects by clicking the quick selection tool and then click on select subject and allow my computer to do its thing. This shouldn't take long to select the subject. Yeah, it has done that for me already. I'm going to refine the selection just a little bit, and yeah, we're good. So because we want to work on the background, we're going to inverse this selection by right clicking and then click on select inverse. Now we are ready to work on the background layer. So you're just going to come over here to your filter, click on blur gallery and click on field blur. So yeah, I usually click or select a very high radius, somewhere around 300 thereabouts, so it just blurs everything, but that's not the catch here. You guys are going to see what we're about to do with this. So I'm going to click on OK. So if you have a very fast computer, this shouldn't take long, but for my computer I have a lot of things that I've stored on this computer, so today it might be working a bit slow, but on other days it's usually fast. But today, yeah, I have a lot of projects that I'm working on, so Pardon me guys, if it's taking too long I'll have to hasten the video, but please just exercise a little patience. So guys, our blur has been applied and you see it's all over the image and it's not really looking good and natural. So what you would want to do is you have to deselect this selection first by clicking on Command or Control D to deselect, and then create a mask over here. Create a mask and invert that mask, or turn the mask to a negative mask by clicking on Command or Control I to invert it. So that means you've hidden the blur. That's just what it means basically. So I'm going to select my brush tool here, make sure I'm using a soft round brush, and then I'll make sure my flow is somewhere around maybe 5 to 10. I don't usually exceed 10. So yeah, and I'm going to apply this blur where I want it to be. You get, because I don't want the entire backdrop to be just blurred out. Some of these textures I'm saying here, I might want it at the end of the day, so I will not blur everything from the backdrop. So I'm just going to be a bit careful. Make sure your foreground color is on white. White reveals and black hides, so make sure your foreground color is white. If your swatches here are not showing white or black, maybe they're showing something else, just click on D to reset it back. So mine is already reset, so I'm using the white foreground color. So I'm just going to like brush around, not everything, just paint around. Be as creative as you can be with this. Don't be too perfect with it. Just be as creative as you can be with this. So this is not going to affect the subject. Remember, we selected the subject before applying this, so whatever we're doing right now is just going to be on the background. It's not affecting. Even if I paint into the subject, it's not going to affect the subject. And careful with the shadows, because sometimes those shadows are part of the whole aesthetics of the shoot. It brings out some dimensions, and also try not to like blur everything out so it doesn't start looking kind of robotic. So yeah, the whole idea is just to take out some of the annoying blemishes, the ones that are not looking natural. Just take them out. So yeah, just be as subtle as you can. So at this point, I think our picture is looking a bit nice. Remember guys, you can take as much time as you want. Just be as creative as possible as you can. Don't strive for perfection when you're doing things like this. Just try and leave some textures if possible. And yeah, this is our before, this is our after. Before, after, you can go back, remove it from some areas that you don't want it, if that's the case. So you click on X on your keyboard to change the swatch color here. So now I'm trying to remove it from some areas that I don't want. So yeah, I'm going to click on before, after, before, after. And trust me guys, this will save you a whole lot of time. So yeah, so for this next technique, I call it the mixer brush technique. I usually use it when I'm working on my regular clients pictures, like maybe birthday pictures, pre-wedding stuff like that. Yeah, I usually use this technique. It's a little bit time consuming because I know I'm not working on a lot of pictures, but anytime I'm working on a lot of pictures, I use the first technique. But if I'm not working on a lot of pictures and I have time to spare, I usually use this other technique. So what I usually do is I click on my frequency separation. I use the Beauty Retouch Academy. So I'll click on my frequency separation. And then I usually choose a very low radius, so that it can help me cover some of those blemishes on the floor, somewhere around 0.1 or Don't exceed 0.5 though. So somewhere around here, I'm okay. I'll click okay. So yeah, it has created my frequency separation layer for me. So I work on my low frequency separation layer here, and I'm going to click on my quick selection tool, click on select subject again. The reason why I'm selecting the subject is because I want to work on the background layer so that whatever I do on the background layer doesn't affect the subject. And then I'm going to invert or inverse this selection. Please pardon me guys, I keep using the word invert. So I'm going to inverse this selection. So now I am free to work on the background layer. So with my low frequency separation layer selected, I'm going to click my mixer brush over here. So I just right click and then I selected the mixer brush. You can also use Shift B to toggle between the different options, or yeah, Shift B to toggle within between the different options of the brush tool here. So here we are using the mixer brush. So you can just the usual frequency separation you do on the subject skin. So over here you'll be doing it on the background instead. So over here, I don't like how this part is looking, so I'm going to fix that. So yeah, remember, you can be as thorough as possible. Take your time, don't rush. So yeah, so now that we are using a very low radius, it helps us blur away most of the textures on the background. But you don't want to blur out everything. That's just how I prefer it. I don't usually blur out every single thing, but you can choose to blur out everything, your choice. Subjective to you. So let me show you what we've done so far. So this is our before, this is our after. Before, after. See how far we've come, and it's still making the backdrop look natural and clean. So remember, if you have time to spare on your slave, use this method. If you don't have time, use the first method. So another reason why I like this method is because for my style of photography, I work with a lot of shadows and highlights. So I usually have a lot of shadows in my image. So you don't want to like mess around those shadows and start making them look funny. You get, because if I was to blur this background entirely and then I start painting the blur into the shadow areas, you see areas like this part here where the shadow of her body is showing, I might end up ruining it. It might not be looking as crisp as it is right now, and I want it to look crisp. You get, the whole reason why I use the hard light on this image is because I wanted those shadows to be defined. So if I use blur to remove everything, then I've like omitted the whole idea of why I even did the lighting thing in the first place. So yeah, this method helps me to be very thorough. I can even come into the shadow area and like brush through, like from the shadows to the midtones to the highlight areas. I can brush, I can be very thorough. I can be very neat with my the movement of my brush, you get. So that's why I like this method. I can be very thorough how I want it. So yeah, and just be very careful when brushing. Just do it, take your time, get it done perfectly. But you can always skip this method if you have lots of money to spend on backdrops. You get, you don't need this method. But for some of us who shoot a lot and we run rental businesses, you know how crazy it can be with white backdrops, especially. They usually get ruined on time. Like, you can literally just buy a white backdrop today and it will start even looking like you've had it for months or weeks that very first day that you launched it. So it's usually crazy. So be very careful with your selection, your brushing rather. So let me show you guys how far we've come. Sorry, it's trying to load. So yeah, this is our before, this is our after. Before, after. You see how far we've come and how natural everything is looking. We still managed to maintain those shadow lines. The edges of the shadows are still looking intact. We've not blurred them out completely. So if you still want to be even thorough with the shadow areas, you don't want to lose these edges of the shadows, but you still want the shadow to look clean, you can deselect this, like Command D, click on Command D or Control D on your PC, and then select this shadow, just this area, just select it. Sorry, it's not selecting properly because I'm not working on a layer, so I'm going to click on a layer, and then we'll do this again. So yeah, I've been able to select this part of the shadow. So I'm going to click on my mixer brush again, and then now I can brush thoroughly from the shadow areas. I can make sure the shadow areas are well smoothened, and then the mid-tone areas are also being attended to, and then the highlight areas as well. You get so yeah. Sorry. So this is our before, this is our after. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So this is our before and this is our after. You can take your time if you have a lot of time on your sleeve to get this done perfectly. So yeah, this is how I usually clean my backdrops for almost every image, except I'm working on a fashion shoot, then I use the first approach. But for most of my image, if not even all, I usually like to use this method. Gives me that flexibility to work on areas that I want to work on and get it done really nice. So yeah, I like how my backdrop is looking. If the highlight areas or the bright areas of the image too was looking a bit wrinkled, I would have still used the same technique on it. But for this image, it was the shadow areas that was looking a bit dirty, so we needed to fix that. So again, see how far we've come. This is before and this is our after. I'll zoom in a little bit so we see it clearly. So this is our before and this is our after. So guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Follow the channel if you're new, and please turn on the notification bell so that you get notified when I put up a new video. Please guys, support the channel so that I will have the ginger and the zeal to do more videos like this. Thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one.